Alright, so we are about a half hour away from Story Retold's live stream where we're gonna try to crack this new password code thing in order to get into the refreshed page of the hidden website. So before that, for some reason, I've decided to go over a few of my notes of where my head is right now on where this game is going. So mainly I want to back up the whole Austria thing, which I think a lot of people are settling in on for the most part, but there are a few other fine details that I would like to go into. And I apologize, I'm going to be looking at my notes because I can't memorize all of these for you. Okay, so first we have black and gold as the flag of the Austrian Empire. So we've been seeing a lot of black and gold. That seems to be the color scheme for the new game. They changed their logo, and any of the images and the newsletter had that color scheme going on for it. So it was the flag of the Austrian Empire, but specifically it was used by the House of Habsburg, following the dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire in about 1804 until 1918. Before that, I do think that the House of Habsburg, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, House of Habsburg used the flag as kind of, it's their family flag. And so they used that even within the Holy Roman Empire. But when the Austrian Empire came into being, I think it was like the main flag for the empire. Now, mentioned at the end of Midnight in Salem, I think, again, I didn't play it, I am using other things for reference here, the Schönbrunn Palace was mentioned, and this palace is in Austria, and it was the summer retreat for the Habsburg family. And it's sort of this golden yellow and sunny place, which is kind of the vibe that we've been given for the whole game so far. Now especially following our kind of new clue, so you know, on Instagram they posted the next clue will soon be in sight. Turn a page on this puzzle, use your Nancy Drew web of knowledge, and let one whose privileged life was filled with misery direct you. And so a couple of people, and I agree, have thought of Marie Antoinette, especially in relationship to the Nancy Drew game Treasure in the Royal Tower, and she has her diamond of misery. And so some people are wondering if that is going to play into the password tonight. But also, Marie Antoinette was part of the Habsburg family, and she spent many days during the summer at the Schönbrunn Palace. Now, here's where it starts to get a little interesting. Marie Antoinette's mother was Maria Theresa, who was the only queen, like full sovereign queen of the Austrian Empire. And because she was the queen in her own right, she would have been crowned with the crown jewels of Bohemia. The crown jewels of Bohemia contain multiple pieces, and they're kept safely in Prague Castle. And Prague has also come up as a possible location of where things are going to be taking place. And they are only shown to the public on very special occasions, but for the most part, they are locked safely away, guarded by doors that can only be opened by 7 keys. Now, I didn't find that one out. I saw that on Kalina Herman's website, and she was quoting somebody from Reddit, C_Raftery. And so I was on her website and I saw that, but I haven't seen a lot of people following up with that because that seems to tie in pretty heavily to a lot of the things that we've been seeing. At least at this point, I am pretty sure that we are in this region of Europe. I don't know, maybe we'll travel to different countries. So we'll be in like Austria, maybe a bit of Hungary, maybe a bit of the Czech Republic. I don't know. A couple of other things that I felt pointed to this. The main one was that clue of important wrong answers, and some people have, I think, returned to that in a different way, but I was just looking at the wrong answers and seeing if I could find anything that stood out. And one of the things that did stand out was the name Rudolph, and there was a significant king of the Austrian Empire named Rudolph. Now, connecting him, I think he was Rudolph II. There was like a Rudolph with a PH who was way back in like the 1200s, but this guy was much more recent. So I think he's Rudolph with an F II, and how he specifically would connect to Marie Antoinette or Maria Theresa, I'm not entirely sure, but I thought it was interesting. And then for a bit, I thought that Alchemy Lab was one of the wrong answers, and it wasn't, but it's still interesting because I think Rudolph participated in alchemy and had an alchemy lab at Schönbrunn Palace. But it's not a wrong answer, so it probably doesn't count. So a couple of things that I wasn't sure on how to tie in. So we still had that salut clue, right? Which, I mean, France, French, Marie Antoinette, and then, oh gosh, who was it? I'm so sorry. I will do it in editing and I'll put down here. They put the video up on their YouTube channel and it was just like reacting to the video that Her Interactive had put up about the new Nancy Drew game, and the song that was used in the background got a copyright claim, and that copyright claim said that the song was called London. So we have London, we have France, we have Austria. I don't know. There's just a lot of European locations going on. And my way of tying Austria, or specifically Vienna, France, and England together was going back to the post-World War II sort of Allied occupation of Austria. I've sort of been on the lookout for any other clues that point to the other countries that were also occupying at the time, so the United States of America and the Soviet Union, but I haven't come across anything like that as of yet. Another kind of funny thing is that one of the wrong trivia answers was puppets, and Schönbrunn Palace does have marionette shows, which I know they're not the same thing, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. So what's also interesting is at this point, it's hard to see how this Austrian Empire thread can tie into the hacking and computer thread. So the Austrian thread has not been proven, but they've been much more upfront and direct about the hacking and computer stuff. And I think again from Kalina Herman, or Story Retold, she said that we are looking at a plot storyline that's based off of one of the books that is, I think, the Nancy Drew Paperback Digest series. And so we are looking at volume 57 through 175. And I went through and I tried to like look up the different plots for each of the books. I haven't read any of those books, and I just tried to latch onto anything that seemed plausible. And so the one that stood out to me as being the most likely for the hacking bit was volume or book number 144, The Email Mystery. And so from fandom.com it says, when clients of Nancy's father, a lawyer, begin to desert him for unknown reasons, Nancy discovers that someone is using electronic mail to sabotage his practice through deception and betrayal. And so we had that imposter clue, I think, on the image name files when people were looking through the web code of the website. The other one was haunted, which I'm not entirely sure how that ties in with the hacking in computers, but if we really want to go with the Austrian route, I do think that Schönbrunn Palace is supposed to be haunted. I mean, what old building isn't, but you know what I mean. Also tying in with the sun thing, Schönbrunn Palace has a sundial house. Interesting. And I did find this also kind of funny because there were a handful of people that were wondering if there was some kind of Shakespeare tie-in. I'm not sure how that started and I'm not sure how it's going, but I've kept it in mind. And so I was reading about Rudolph II. I think I was looking up alchemy, the alchemy tie-in with Rudolph II. And so from Quillette.com, it said, in his final years, Rudolph was like Prospero in Shakespeare's The Tempest. So, quote, transported and wrapped in secret studies as to seldom leave his castle in Prague. Just thought that was interesting. One thing that I cannot figure out is that I feel like we have this coffee, tea, I'm leaning towards coffee thing. So that image from the banner in the secret web page kind of looked like a coffee internet cafe type place. On this new clue, there's coffee stains on the pieces of paper, and on the secret web page, there's the two icons. One of them is a magnifying glass and the other one is a coffee cup. One of the wrong answers in the trivia questions was coffee. I don't know, but I don't feel like I'm crazy, but I haven't seen like what is that significant. I think I've done a little bit of light digging into Austria and coffee, but I haven't come up with anything concrete yet. So I don't know. People have also been we're still trying to figure out what the building is. Looks like a cathedral in the background of one of the newsletter images. And I came up with a couple. Let's see. There was St. Vitus in Prague, where Rudolph II is buried. There's, I can't pronounce this, Aachen, where Rudolph was coronated. I was really following this thread, and I'm not entirely sure if it's a real thing. On a side note, St. Stephen's in Vienna has a checkered floor like the newsletter image. So that's potentially something, but I don't know, multiple cathedrals might have checkered floors. I didn't look for multiple. Oh, I did want to say one of the hauntings that came up a lot was the White Lady. So if we get any clues or anything that point to the White Lady, just keep that in mind. Okay, so we've got a little bit more than 10 minutes until the live stream starts. So there was a mix-up. It wasn't tonight. So tomorrow night, it's gonna be switched. All right, well, I guess we'll figure it out tomorrow. Try to figure it out. I tried to mention some of my things because Kalina did bring up about Marie Antoinette and like her thinking that that's probably going to be the closest tie into the password because of her tie-in with Austria and the Habsburgs. And so she mentioned that, and I tried to put some things in the comments, but nobody replied or had any thoughts. But maybe they saw them. I don't know. But I feel like I'm sort of on the right track, so that's good. Anyway, I guess we'll just have to see tomorrow night. So long.